Welcome back. You're still tuned into Markets at Lunch on ET Now, and global gas supply continues to weigh heavy on sectors globally. And one sector which is impacted is glass manufacturing, and that is likely to weigh heavy on your glass of beer as well. So, what is the impact on India's alcohol beverage industry? To understand that, we are now joined by Mr. Virod Giri, Director General at Brewers Association of India. Mr. Giri, afternoon. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. And shortage of gas clearly has forced several glass bottle manufacturers to partially or fully halt operations. If you can take us through how severe or how serious is this problem, and by when do you expect a solution to this problem?
So, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. For the beer industry, it's difficult. It's a kind of double whammy, uh, and it's hitting us two ways. First is the packaging material cost, which is very closely linked with the cost of or the energy supply to the country. So we have a situation where the glass, which requires either industrial gas (PNG) or it requires furnace oil, and uh, and both supplies are under stress right now. So we have a situation that the glass cost seem to have gone up by nearly 20%. So that's one though. We are seeing, and the glass, as you know, accounts for nearly, say, about 45% of the total cost of beer. Then we also have other related costs like the freight cost have gone up by uh, 10 to 15% range. We have the paper cartons, which have gone up by nearly 100%. And freight is up, paper cartons are up, all the related material like your BOPP and everything is up now. So we have a situation that we are looking at a cost increase of nearly, say, about 15% on an average. That's part one of the problem. Part two of the problem is that some of the packaging material, which depend on supplies from the Middle East, they are under huge stress. And one thing is aluminum, as we know, that a lot of aluminum smeltering happens in the Middle East. Now, those supplies are being affected, and we are hearing from the can manufacturer that if aluminum supplies remain like this, then they may be forced to shut down the plants. I mean, that's a very difficult situation to be in. Further, we are hit by the change in the dollar rate. As we know, dollar used to be about 88 rupees, and now it's up to 94 rupees. So that also is hitting the cost of imports. So overall, I think the beer industry in particular is under severe stress, and the cost increase is nearly 15. Even it's increasing day by day. I mean, if the situation goes on, it will just get worse.
Right, so cost increase is a problem not only on the glass front but also when it comes to aluminium, because availability of aluminium itself has become a problem of late. But now that you're telling us that costs have risen by 15 to 20%, what kind of support do you expect from the government? Are you seeking price increase from states? Are you already in conversation with states to go ahead and increase prices?
Yeah. So see, we all admit that the war is a difficult thing, and there will be a cost on everyone. All we are saying is that industry should not be the only one forced to take this cost. Consumers should bear part of it. The industry should bear part of it. The government should bear part of it. So we are writing to the governments, especially the ones where there's very little headspace for the industry to absorb this cost increase. We are asking them to give us a price increase in the range of around 15% to at least make up for the increase in the cost of production. Uh, and we are saying other alternative, if that's a long process, there are a lot of manufacturing levies which the states impose upon the industry. As an interim measure, they can look at removing those levies and give the industry some relief because we cannot really absorb this cost. And there are quite a few states where the governments are controlling prices, and there's just not enough head space for the cost to be absorbed. So we are requesting the governments and telling them to take a realistic view. Listen, the reality is, even if the situation, the war stops now, the amount of damage which has happened to the infrastructure in the Middle East, it will take anywhere between, say, 1 to 5 years for the things to really normalize. I mean, it's not a short term or blip that can be absorbed by someone. It's a long drawn cost increase which has to be shared by people, by the different stakeholders. The industry cannot just pick it up.
Right, clearly. So the government has to ensure and come up with a solution to this, either in terms of price increase or some other solution. But Mr. Giri, in the intervening period, till the government comes up to with a solution or till the supplies are restored, what are the other alternatives to bottle that the industry has? Is there a solution to this, an alternative that the industry can work with?
See, I'll just mention one economic necessity which will happen if you don't get price increases. Uh, Different states have different prices. In some states, the industry has a greater ability to absorb cost. Uh, some states they just do not have that room. So my big concern is that if companies are forced to ration their product, they would prefer to supply to the states where at least they have the ability to absorb. Now, which means that some of the states, the supplies will be disrupted. This kind of situation, I'll also be underline this part. This is a war is a situation of force majeure, which means some of the contracts which the industry has with the companies have with the buyer government corporations, uh, they can be questioned under these situations. So I don't think industry has any other way of absorbing this, because if the cost increases are gradual over time, so one can look at driving operational efficiencies to absorb it. But this kind of a sudden shock, and there's no way it can be absorbed. This
Right.
has to be shared with the other stakeholders. There's no other way out.
Right, so price increase is clearly a problem. Mr. Giri, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the ground situation is when it comes to India's brewery industry. But on that note, we need to slip into a short break. More news and updates will continue on the other side.